Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Alone. Before we begin, let me know in the comments if you were looking forward to this or what your thoughts are if you've seen it already, and make sure to give this a thumbs up if you like these reviews. It helps me out immensely if you do that. Also, if you're new here and you like movies, whether it be blockbusters, hidden gems, or everything in between, please consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases and some classics. But now, let's jump right into it. This thriller stars Jules Willcox as Jessica, a recent widow who packs up and travels to escape her old life, only to be kidnapped by a mysterious man played by Marc Menchaca. She escapes into the wilderness where it turns into a game of cat and mouse as she fights to survive. This is directed by John Hyams, who's mainly done television work, though he's done a few films before that I haven't seen or heard of, to be perfectly honest. This is the first time I've ever seen anything by him, and it's also the first time I've seen these actors. I actually only heard of this because it played at the Fantasia Film Festival last month, and it got a lot of positive reviews from there, so I wanted to check it out. I wouldn't call this the most inventive movie out there because it's a fairly standard premise. There have been a decent amount of movies about someone trying to escape a kidnapping before, and it's a very stripped down, minimalistic sort of film. It's divided into chapters, and it takes place in a select few locations, mainly in this one area of the woods. And despite the sense of familiarity, its fairly simplistic setup is also its greatest strength. This is a fast-paced, expertly crafted thriller that does a fantastic job cranking up the tension in each and every scene and rarely wastes any time. From a technical standpoint, it's excellent. A lot of shots are tightly framed, and it makes extensive use of extreme close-ups, especially as a lot of the shots will present situations from a character's point of view, whether it be Jessica's or the kidnapper's, simply known as the man in the credits. We'll see shots from a rearview mirror, we'll see the point of view of someone peeking through a door opened ever so slightly, and my absolute favorite shot is one of the characters laying down in the woods, and they look up and we see the trees moving, but it's presented as if the character is getting dizzy, so as the trees move, the camera's moving as well, and it looks as if the trees are extremely tilted. It does a great job of presenting disorientation without being confusing, and it leaves us constantly wanting to know what happens next. I'd say it's a movie that definitely gets better as it goes along. The first half gives off more of a horror vibe. It's extremely creepy, it's definitely meticulously paced, as we can tell something's off about the man from early on, and we're holding our breath, anxious to find out when he's going to strike. It gets more and more fast-paced though once she escapes and it's this fight out in the woods. It has a very chilling soundtrack that sometimes acts as the driving force behind a lot of scene suspense. There will be moments where there's no dialogue or they're talking just above a whisper, and all you can hear is this screeching music at the forefront, and as the stakes increase and it moves quicker and quicker, it keeps us constantly on the edge. It's a very event-based movie, but it does a good job presenting us with characters we can be invested in. We learn a little bit about Jessica's backstory, we find out what happened to her husband, and we'll hear phone conversations with her dad, so you'll get hints of what her home situation was like. And we even learn bits about the man, including some of his motivations, though I won't get into any of that because of spoilers. And both performances were great. Jules Willcox is a very compelling lead, and she breaks away hard from acting as this sort of damsel in distress stereotype. This is a very active character, always trying to think one step ahead as best as she can, and she gave a very strong performance to match that. Marc Menchaca is also a very good antagonist. He comes off as extremely creepy. Even from the first couple times you meet him, he has this overly friendly vibe to him that just doesn't seem sincere. He kind of reminded me of Ned Flanders from The Simpsons if he kind of just went off the deep end. He'll have this everyman look, but through his body language, he'll be really unnerving the entire time. It was an excellent performance. Now, I don't have too many criticisms for this. Like I said, it's a somewhat familiar setup, so there's that. And the other big thing is there are some logical decisions that I questioned. It's not a very long movie, it's only an hour and a half, but it could have easily been an hour 15 or hour 20. And it seemed like there were a couple of things done for the sake of having a dramatic moment, especially one decision made in the third act. One or two things get dragged out just a bit too long because a character made the wrong decision or didn't think things through. I know in the heat of the moment they may have just made a wrong choice or weren't thinking things clearly, so I get that, but it's still worth pointing out because I didn't feel these moments totally worked. Overall, this is another one of the year's biggest surprises. It takes a fairly simple, straightforward premise and gives us a fast-paced, constantly engaging experience. It's shot well, has a chilling score, it's very thrilling, and has two great performances from Jules Willcox and Marc Menchaca. It's on VOD now, and I highly recommend seeing this. Alone gets an 8.5 out of 10. Just something worth noting, there are a number of movies called Alone that were released this year. I think on IMDb this is listed as the 5th movie from 2020 with that title, and this isn't even the first movie that comes up when I search for it. So make sure you look for the one directed by John Hyams and has the rearview mirror in the poster, just to alleviate any confusion there. Let me know, did you see Alone or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did you like the acting? Did you find it thrilling? And are there any movies similar to this that you enjoyed? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll catch you next time.